Here's a number that shouldn't be possible in a World Cup, where dozens of the best strikers alive are trying to break it. 1 goal. That's the total Spain has conceded in 7 matches, from the opening whistle of the group stage all the way to today's final. Call it the silent machine. While every other contender in this tournament has needed some kind of miracle, a comeback, a penalty save, a moment of chaos, Spain has simply not needed one. You keep waiting for the wobble, the twist, the collapse. It hasn't come. Which is strange, because this is a team built around a 19-year-old, Lamine Yamal, who tore his hamstring 3 months before the tournament even began. Here's the map. Today, in New Jersey, Spain is chasing its 2nd World Cup title and its 5th major trophy for the national team in 18 years. Win it, and this stops being a promising generation. It becomes a dynasty. Because across the tunnel stands a team built entirely around proving experience still beats youth. But before we get to today, you need to understand something. This defense, this discipline, this refusal to panic, none of it happened by accident. It was built deliberately by a coach nobody expected to still be standing 4 years after taking the job. Luis de la Fuente wasn't the exciting hire. In December 2022, when Spain's federation needed a replacement after a penalty shootout exit to Morocco, they didn't reach for a star name. They promoted the man who had spent nearly a decade running Spain's youth teams, someone who had personally coached half this current squad as teenagers. That quiet resume produced an immediate result. At Euro 2024, Spain won every single game. The first team in the tournament's history to win 7 matches without needing penalties. In the final, with captain Rodri injured at halftime, De La Fuente made the tactical call that won the trophy. A second holding midfielder, freeing his most creative player to punish England. Spain's 4th European title. The identity he built wasn't a copy of Spain's 2010 tiki-taka golden generation. It was its evolution. Still built on possession, but faster, more vertical, willing to attack the space behind a defense instead of just passing around it. By the time this World Cup arrived, Spain ranked 1st among all 48 teams in shots allowed per opponent possession and in turnovers won inside the attacking third. A suffocating identity built on pressing as much as passing. Therefore, heading into this World Cup, De La Fuente had earned total trust. So he used it to make the most controversial decision of his career. In May 2026, he named a 26-man World Cup squad containing 0 players from Real Madrid, the biggest club on the planet, absent entirely from Spain's roster for the first time ever. Dean Huijsen, a starting caliber defender, cut. The move exploded across Spanish social media within hours. De La Fuente refused to blink. The squad has a very clear identity, and we are not going to break that now. No apology, no hedge. It should have been the story of the tournament. Instead, it became a footnote, because 3 days into the World Cup, something far more alarming happened to the team he'd built. And it happened in a game Spain wasn't supposed to struggle in at all. Spain opened the World Cup against Cabo Verde, a debutante nation with nothing to lose, and could not find a way through. A scoreless draw that stunned a country that had arrived as favorites. The Spanish press turned immediately, and it turned hardest on Rodri, the reigning Ballon d'Or winner, calling him slow, calling him a liability. De La Fuente didn't defend him quietly. He went on national radio and called the criticism insulting. Even at half his normal level, he said, Rodri is still better than almost every midfielder alive. The apathy didn't end there. Against Uruguay in the final group game, Spain played so lifelessly that thousands of their own fans in the stadium started chanting the name of a different team entirely, Cabo Verde, more interested in a results update from another game than the one happening in front of them. Not everyone read the slump the same way. Some called it a champion conserving energy, coasting through matches that didn't matter yet. Others called it proof this golden generation carried the same fragility that has haunted Spain in tournaments past. Which one was true stayed unresolved, a debate worth having even now. Then Yamal himself became the fear. In April, a torn hamstring nearly ended his tournament before it started. He raced back. And 2 nights before this very final, he was seen limping out of training, a heavy wrap around his thigh, after a collision in the semifinal against France. A game Spain still won comfortably, 2-0, outclassing the pre-tournament favorites so completely that one outlet called Spain the anti-Argentina, a team that doesn't need drama to win. Which brings us to today, and to a detail almost nobody outside Spain knows. The man coaching Argentina across that touchline, Lionel Scaloni, once sat in Luis de la Fuente's classroom, earning his coaching license under him back in 2017. Today, the student doesn't just face a football nation, he faces his own teacher. It happened in the second period of extra time. The 106th minute, Argentina down to 10 men. Nico Williams ran in behind an exhausted back line, chased a ball played over the top, and headed it back across the box. Ferran Torres met it first time, half volley, past Emiliano Martínez. 1-0, Spain's second World Cup. That wasn't even the first goal tonight, it was the third attempt. Twice already, the net had rippled and didn't count. The first? Offside, clean, no argument. The second, 6 minutes into extra time. Nico Williams' effort ruled out for a foul so soft that commentators on both sides couldn't agree it was one. Mikel Merino stepping on Nicolas Otamendi's foot. The referee blew it dead. VAR agreed. Spanish fans in the stands chanted the name of FIFA's president, sarcastically, loud enough for the cameras to catch it. Therefore, Spain won this final twice, once against Argentina, once against a decision that didn't go their way. And Argentina made them earn it. The same team that spent the tournament finding dramatic escapes turned, with the trophy on the line, to fouls instead. Lisandro Martinez dragging Oyarzabal down by the shirt. Leandro Paredes shoving players after a foul on Rodri. 4 yellow cards for Argentina by full time, 0 for Spain. Enzo Fernandez collected 2 of them, the second sending him off, leaving Argentina to defend the final stretch a man down. The numbers said the rest. 65% possession, 20 shots to 2. And Spain's defense, the silent machine since minute 1 of this story, finished the tournament having conceded exactly 1 goal in 8 matches. Luis de la Fuente just beat the man who once sat in his classroom earning his coaching license. And across from him, Lionel Messi walked off a World Cup final for what is, almost certainly, the last time. Asked before this tournament about a 7th, at what would be 43 years old, he didn't hedge. No, that I can say no to. Spain didn't just win, they won it clean, they won it dominant. And even with one call still up for debate, nobody can say they didn't deserve it. Which brings us to the question hanging over Argentina tonight. How do you replace the greatest player the country has ever produced? That's the next documentary on this channel. Subscribe so you don't miss it.